Now, before I start, I want to say that I know that the right does the same kind of shit. That the right can and does lose their mind at the drop of a goddamn hat. Just utter the phrase more than two genders and watch the reeing commence. And I would not give a shit about the left doing this as well, except there's one rather big caveat to this. See, the left has marketed, self-marketed, I might add, themselves as calm, patient, tolerant, forgiving. What was the phrase that they used a couple years ago and to some extent still use today? When they go low, we go high. And this is my main issue with the left right now, is that they they are just as bad, quite frankly worse, than the right as far as flipping their shit over stuff. But they have this air of moral superiority whenever they do it. That they are justified, that they are the good people, even if they do some horrible things. Sometimes, especially when they do horrible things. And I absolutely hate this kind of shit. I hated when in the 90s it was the Christian right that did it. And I hate now when it's the, what's a good way to phrase this? Patient, tolerant left that does it. This is what's called equality. I am treating you fuckers the same way for the same actions. Inequality a bitch when it happens to you? That'll be taken out of context. So anyway, the reason that I'm even making this video today is because there were two separate instances that became viral incredibly fast, all just in 24 hours. And these two instances perfectly demonstrate the patient, tolerant left. The first was a trans woman, and normally I wouldn't even say anything about that, except that she kind of makes it a big deal. You can hear her screaming about that, so that's kind of relevant to the story here. It's a trans woman at a GameStop, and I know it's a GameStop because I saw a sign that said "Power to the Players." That's the GameStop moniker, motto, whatever. She starts it off by projecting so hard you could see it from fucking Pluto. She screamed at the guy that was recording this, "Calm down, shut up." Okay? And from there, it's just her losing her ever-loving shit because she believes that she was called Sir. That's it. She was referred to as Sir by the cashier. The tragedy. How does she not have to go to a hospital? Now, I know that there are going to be people that come at me saying, oh, well, trans people are killed and their high suicide rate all because people refuse to refer to them as their proper gender, yada, yada, etc., etc. Look, what I'm doing here, I'm referring to the trans woman as her because I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be tolerant. I'm trying to be patient. Much like the left says they are, but aren't. And that's just my own thing. Let me give you the perspective of the cashier for a moment. This cashier was being screamed at nonstop by this woman. At about the 30-second mark, you can hear him accidentally say "sir," and you can see in his face he realizes he fucked up. And I am completely on this employee's back that it was an accident because I've been in that situation where a customer would scream at me and I would accidentally say pretty much the last thing they said to me as a nervous reflex. That is accident, not intent. That is not malicious. That is nervous. You can't say that he is a transphobe for doing something on accident. Hell, he fully owns up to the fact that he said, "you guys." And guys here is not men. It's gender neutral. It's become so commonplace in our society that the phrase "you guys" does not denote gender. It's completely neutral. And this is all that it took for her to lose her fucking mind. If you are that fucking sensitive that someone accidentally calling you sir or saying the phrase "you guys" causes you to destroy property, which she did, you can see that in the video, then you need psychiatric care. That's all I'm saying in that. And the second one, this one, I do not know how you justify in any way. The first one, again, I pointed out the argument that people could make. This next one, there is no defense at all. It was this guy who came into this vape shop because his wife needed some supplies. Well, here's the problem and the kicker. He was wearing a Trump shirt. It said Trump, and then it had the American style banner on it in the Trump word. Well, this caused the clerk to just lose his mind when he saw that, to the point where he actually reached over the counter, and I don't know to what extent, because I don't think it's shown in the video, to touch up to hit this customer for having just worn the shirt. He assaulted a customer for wearing a shirt. Nothing else happened. He just wore a shirt. And the cashier assaulted the customer. Even if it's just a little boop, that's assault. Especially if you are the person that's running the store that does that to a customer that walked into the store. That is absolutely fucking assault. And it's just 4 minutes of him more and more losing his goddamn mind. Now, I'm not saying that the guy wearing the Trump shirt didn't do anything to agitate the guy, because obviously he did. He's a shitblower. Because the kid that was the cashier made it so fucking easy. And that's what the right is really good at right now. They are masters of poking and prodding after they see that it affects you. Which they should. Because, once again, the left just sits on their high horse screaming about patience and tolerance, all while yelling down at you for existing. So I think this kind of thing is absolutely justified. And you can tell through all the threats of this cashier saying, "I'm going to call the cops, I'm going to call the cops." He was never going to, because he knew that he was in the wrong. This guy was recording everything. He knew that that cashier knew that he had fucked up royally, and he did not want the cops called. I will be amazed if that cashier still has a job as of Monday. I don't care if you do not like someone's politics. I don't care if you think that Trump himself is a racist, bigot, Nazi, fascist, whatever. That does not mean that the people that voted for him are that same way. You do not get to do this shit. And woe be the day that this becomes... What do you want? This to become a law that you're allowed to kill people because they have different political ideologies? That's something fascist dictatorships do. That's something that the left accuses the right of right now, and yet the left is the one that perpetuates it. It's unbefucking-lievable. So I am always happy to point out the instances of the patient, tolerant left. Because they aren't. They are absolutely the farthest thing away from that. And I would like to see some civility brought back into this. You can make excuses. You can make justifications. You can say, well, they started it all day long. But if you do it too, you are no better. And I'm saying that to both sides. I believe in a world of civility and disagreement, but the ability to live with someone who you disagree with. And somehow, that makes me a fascist. We live in strange, disturbing times. This has been Math Machine, calling for peace and civility, and being a Nazi because of it. Welcome to 2018-2019. It's going to be a fun fucking ride all the way up to the 2020 election. God help us all. Peace out.